Alright, this is Oracle of Ages Randomizer. Today I'm playing on normal mode. Randomized dungeons, tree warp is enabled. Basically the standard settings. We're not doing a race today. Just gonna do a standard seed. See how it goes. It's been a couple weeks since I've done an Ages seed. So, just wanted to try and stay loose. In the midst of the Minish Cap tournament. We're starting off with a sword. Got combat right away. Always good. Can't complain about that. And we got 200 rupees. So that's telling me, let's go to the shop. What does the shop have for us today? Amber Seeds are default. Shop has a boomerang. I'm gonna buy the shield. And we're not gonna worry about the boomerang. The boomerang could come into play. I think we're more likely just gonna need the shield. I'm trying to think of where the boomerang could come into play. Most likely, I could see boomerang coming into play in like D3, but we would need bombs to get into D3, so yeah, I don't know where we would end up using the boomerang if we end up buying it. Yeah, in D4 as well. Skipping the seed shooter. But then again, we would need feather. So no matter what, we would need something else to go with that boomerang. Alright, satchel. Okay, that's telling me graveyard. What's our... Oh yeah, our defaults are embers. But I'm gonna go ahead and grab whatever's in Ambi's palace. And those are mysteries, okay. Yeah, satchel could mean late seed shooter. That is very true. You get an early satchel, you get the late seed shooter. You get an early seed shooter, you get late satchel. They kind of go hand in hand. I mean, we'll see what ends up happening. We know that the shop has the boomerang, right? We can easily get back to it if we decide to get it. It's not like it's so far out of the way. I have a feeling this is gonna be either flippers or Tune of Currents. Yeah, makes sense. I think Tune of Currents made more sense there, just because it opens up even more things. Because right now we're looking at just heading over to Symmetry. That's about it. We'll probably get 3rd C-type. That's a possibility. 3rd C-type and Feather. Oh, what's up, Ocelot? Thanks for the 502. The other possibility... I can see us getting early ages here. Early ages into Ambi's Palace. The only thing we would need is a switch hook. Not having a switch hook means we can't go all the way through. But as soon as we get that, switch hook ages, that gets us access all the way through Ambi's Palace into the Making Tree. I mean, we'll see. We get 2 items and a steed. Just trying to figure out what we're gonna work with. There's Tune of Ages. Okay. So I was partially right about early ages. You know what? No, let's go to Symmetry first, and then we'll come back and do Ambi's Palace. I think that's the way we want to do this. There's a lot of, like, little shenanigans we can do right now. But the big thing I want is the seed. Whatever seed type this is. Pegasus seeds. Beautiful. So unless we get flippers, we're just getting this one item and leaving. After that, I can either go into Ambi's Palace, or I can head into Deku Forest. Deku Forest has more for me, so maybe I go there. Especially with Tune of Ages, like, we can do a lot. Bombs. Alright. That's a pretty good find. But yeah, I think we head... if there's a switch hook in Ambi's Palace, we can get everything there. But I like this path of going backwards. It's too good. It's too good to not do. And there's too many other items we can grab in Deku Forest. Versus one item in Ambi's Palace. Oh, wait. I can grab Talus Peaks. You know what? I don't want to grab Talus Peaks yet. Let's do everything else first. Just open that up for now. We'll go in there in a little bit. Oh, yeah. In order to get in there, I'm gonna have to do some shenanigans. Let's see what kind of tree that is. Sense? Okay. So that is another sea type. Oh, I can't go back this way. I have to go... Oh, this is gonna be annoying. I have to go back, and I have to go in through the other side. Oh no, I can't get the item there. Because it's, bracelet locked. But I can get in here. I believe it's this spot, if I'm not mistaken. It's one to the left, okay. I'm not super familiar with the exact locations for some of these early Tune of Ages spots. Like, I know generally where I need to be, but there's a few, like, that I'll have to just trial and error the exact location. There's a bracelet, okay. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to go back and forth out of here. Oh no, now I can go grab the other item. We can go back over here, and we can grab this. Is it right here? Yeah, that's the spot. That's fairy powder. Cool. Oh, I guess I didn't have to go back. Yeah, I didn't have to go back because I could have burned my way out. That's fine. Because I'm just gonna go over here and get into the dungeon. But yeah, that's how to clean out Daegu Forest with very awkward items. Okay, we're not going into D8. Instead, we are making our way back up to Talus Peaks and Ambi's Palace. There's gonna be a switch hook in Ambi's, isn't there? It's definitely a switch hook in Ambi's at this point. Or it's right here. Either way, there's a switch hook somewhere that's gonna give us access. Letter of introduction. So yeah, Ambi's Palace did have our progression. Whatever it may be. I should have just gone straight in there. So yeah, chances are it's a switch hook, because that gets me through the entire thing here. If it's something else, I could see it being... flippers? Yeah, flippers would be probably the biggest thing that we can get. Yeah, of course it was a switch hook. Come on. So now we're gonna get access to Rolling Ridge. Now that we have the switch hook, we get access to West Rolling Ridge. Feather gets us access to East. Heart Ring is okay for now. I'll take that. Nice Gasha Seed. Beautiful. course, we're gonna have to go the long way. But that's no bother. All for 50 rupees. So maybe the rupees are more for mini games rather than buying from the shop. Or the other possibility is the rupees are for buying the potion. Potion is close to being on the table. Just need the graveyard key. And then mermaid suit. I would pick like the one square that has a tree on it. So yeah, flippers, mermaid suit, that gets us access to Zora Seeds. So I would not be surprised if those are some of the next things to pop up. And then graveyard key as well. Feather! Alright. There is our remainder of Rolling Ridge access. Now we're just gonna be flying through here for a while. Like, we'll be here for a while. There's a lot for us to do. Pegasus ring? Okay. I can take that. There's our Gale Seeds. Perfect. So we have every seed type now. Don't need to worry about finding new seed trees. Oh, I don't have flippers yet. So I can't get basement here. Because to do that, you need to go into the water. So most likely we just have to get to the east. And then that's where all our progression is. But I have to keep in mind that we can't might have to come back here for the basement. I like having Tune of Ages for this part, because it means I don't have to go the long way around. And I can get basically everything I want in one fell swoop. It can be a little awkward. But this area here... Oh, the long switch! That makes it even better. That actually makes it super good. Because you can go right up there. And a bomb refill. Okay. I'll take the bomb refill. That was a good cave. Definitely like that cave there. So yeah, I'm definitely thinking that the rupees are more for minigames than anything else. Bomb flower. Do I go back to the Goron Elder? I don't know. It's kind of awkward to get to. Actually, not too awkward. I could do it, but just not right now. Let's clean out the rest of this, and then we'll head over there. Yo, Spinnerax with the Prime sub, appreciate it. Been loving the streams, got you hooked on randos. Always good to see people enjoying the randos. And thanks for the good luck as well. Lava juice. Okay. Now, do I go back and turn into lava juice? I probably should. While I'm here. This is like the land of awkwardly placed trade items. Yeah, I should turn that in while I'm here. Man, I'm only, what, like 3 screens away? It was just a gasha seed, so I didn't need to worry about that, but because I was there, I might as well. Probably want to turn in the bomb flower as well, but I'll do that once I finish my loop here. Because I want to get the tree at least, and maybe get into the dancing part, because I have to do both dances. You know, thinking about it, those rupees might have been the offset that I needed in order to be able to buy potion after finishing minigames. That was a 50. Yeah, I think that would have been enough to give me everything I need. Oh well. We'll get more rupees, it's fine. We still have the old man rupees. We haven't got old man rupees yet. Yeah, we'll grab those, and then we're good. Or we just get 100 rupees from there. Perfect. Okay. That is all the rupees we're gonna need for the game. Nice Pegasus refill. Oh, and those were flippers. Ooh. That is very interesting. Let's go back. We'll do present dancing. We'll turn in our... do I want to turn in the bomb flower right now? I could. Or... we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening here. Because now that I have flippers, I have access to both of the items in the graveyard, as well as I can do both items at Tingle. So it might be more time efficient to just go for Tingle into the graveyard, and then we'll go from there. Doing a one-off check when I can do 2 doubles doesn't really make sense. Like I should be getting as many checks comboed together as possible right now. And this is probably like the 4 fastest checks I have available to me right now. So Tingle was a bust, but let's go to the graveyard. I think the graveyard might pay off here. I could bomb jump there, but I already have Moosh. Basically, like, if I miss a bomb jump, it would be slower than if I just use Moosh to begin with. Ring? And Gasha Seed. So this was... can't say it's worthless, but not nearly as good as it could be. And it wasn't a good ring, so yeah, it was pretty worthless. Now we start doing one-off checks. Scent Seedling. Okay. Now I can get 2 one-off checks in Rolling Ridge. So I'm gonna go there first. The other check that I can get is the Composer. I don't know. 2 of the checks that I'm getting are Flipper Lock. And one of them is the Bomb Flower Lock. But yeah, as of right now, like, we're very limited in what we can do. Noble Sword is good. Like, that is a good item. I just... doesn't get me access to anything. I either need, like... Mermaid Suit, or... Tuning Nut, Graveyard Key, Crown Key, Mermaid Keys. Like, there's so many things that can get me access to a dungeon, right? But as of right now, the only dungeon I have access to is D8. And I can't do anything there. Okay. There is a Mermaid Key. So that is dungeon access. Let's go straight there. The odds of the Composer having something are probably still pretty good, but I'd rather start working on dungeons than going after single checks right now. D4. D4 is a... this is where having that boomerang would have come into play. Though, logically, the boomerang is not what we need. It would just help me. We'll see, if this is a 3-keyer, which is what it's kind of looking like, maybe I should just go after the boomerang. Yeah, let's just go grab the boomerang real quick. Because, like, normally I'd say this is a bad idea, but given that I don't really have much else available to me, I kind of like this idea. And we have a heart ring, so health isn't of the most concern. Sure, it's gonna still be concerning, but it's not like I absolutely need to do everything right. And this boomerang is basically just gonna be like, okay, now I can just do everything here instead of having to come back potentially. Assuming I remember how to do the boomerang strats here. Yeah, it's 3 keys, so we can get all the way through here without the seed shooter. Seed shooter could be in the back, theoretically. There we go. So that was a compass. Not a required item. Yeah, the boomerang strats in here are really cool. Though they are not in normal logic. They are something you can do in hard logic. So because I'm playing on normal, like, the game's not expecting me to do that. It's expecting me to have the seed shooter for that check. But if you know how to do things like that, it helps speed things up a little bit, because you don't have to come back with the seed shooter. Potentially, like, that was just a compass, so it's not like a item I absolutely need. who knows? Maybe this next one is something that I need. We're about to find out. This one, I'm not 100% sure on the setup. Like, I kind of wing it every time. It's got a key. So this one is a little bit more interesting. Yeah, I think I want to jump down like that. Yeah, okay. It's the boss key. So Seed Shooter is 100% required for this dungeon. However, Seed Shooter could be, in fact, in the back. And you may have to come back to do that. That would be awful. Absolutely awful. I'm actually hoping that the Seed Shooter is back here. Because that would be the worst. So there has to be a key on this check here. Guaranteed. Which now means that the rest of the dungeon is accessible without the Seed Shooter. Because the only two things that you need the Seed Shooter for are those two checks that we got the compass and boss key from. Like the mini boss, everything in the back here, we can do without it. But the boss key was Seed Shooter locked. Technically. No, you need the switch hook for the boss. This is the one with the eyeball. And you have to switch hook the eyeball and then hit it with the sword. Let's see, we haven't gotten any items out of here. There's 2 items in this dungeon. And there it was! I was about to say, we've had the Seed Shooter in that exact spot before. And it was there again. But this time it was even more cruel because the boss key location. So because of that boss key location, you absolutely have to go through this dungeon twice if you do not do the boomerang trick. It's kind of nuts to think about. Also makes me kind of glad that I bought the boomerang. Oh no, it's not the Shadow Hag. That's the boss of Dungeon 3. And you don't necessarily need the Seed Shooter for that boss. You can use Ember Seeds on the ground. Like, you can drop Ember Seeds using the satchel and hit it that way. So it is possible to beat that dungeon without the seed shooter entirely. But that requires a lot of, like, very specific things. Alright, is the second item? It is. Okay, so that means map is in the back. And we're done. We're done with Dungeon 4. And yet, somehow, I still don't have access to, like, anything. The way I'm seeing it right now is we're about to get the cane. I think we're about to get cane from Composer. And then have to go to D8. That is my prediction. The other possibility is Mermaid Suit, and then we go to Zora Seeds. Or we just get another dungeon key, and we go into a dungeon. But we have to get something here, I think. I don't think there's any way around it at this point. Yep, it's cane to D8. Okay. Oh, this is good. This is really good. I'm really liking this seed here. The fact that we had to go through D4 the way we did, only to end up having to go to D8 after, it's working out really well. Well, I wouldn't say it was really well, but it is a very interesting progression. Like, the whole reason for getting the seed shooter was so we could get D8 access. And same thing with the cane. Now we don't have the power glove. Because we don't have the power glove, we cannot complete this dungeon. But this could also showcase some more shenanigans with this dungeon. Like, this is a dungeon where you can get very deep into the dungeon without the dungeon item. Without the power glove. So I'm curious what we're gonna have to do here. Alright, we got a slate. There's the boss key. I mean, this dungeon is giving me no progression so far. But it is allowing me to go very far into the dungeon. And based on how this is playing out, I expect... Yeah. That's a guaranteed return trip to that room as well. Because that, logically, is locked behind all keys. And now we're gonna go into the basement, into the depths of D8, without our trusty power glove. This is almost playing out like a Plando, kind of. Required going deep into D4 to get the Steed Shooter. Required going deep into D8 to get something. We don't know yet. We don't know what we're getting yet. But going deep into D8 without the power glove. We'll see what we end up finding. We might even find the power glove in here. Right? Like, that's always a possibility. Like, that would be a really cool possibility, right? Power glove in D8. In the depths of D8. So I don't think I've ever seen that before. Gourmet Vase doesn't do anything for me right now. The final key does. That opens up the refill room. Which I am glad to see because I am clearly out of Pegasus Seeds. Now, if I don't get anything here, I have one more check. The underwater check. I think that's the only thing left that I can get without the power glove. Yeah, we've got to go underwater. We have to go underwater. This is nuts. If this is Power Glove, this is absolutely insane. Now this may not even be Power Glove. This could very well be Switch Hook. Or no, not Switch Hook. Mermaid Suit. It could be Mermaid Suit. It could be any number of keys to dungeons. Just giving me more access to things. But yeah, if it's Power Glove, that would be the most insane one. Okay, it's Mermaid Suit. All of that for the Mermaid Suit. Wow. What an adventure. And that takes us straight into D7. Couldn't work out any better than that, right? Oh, this is looking like a go mode, D7. I'm kind of concerned about going through here right now. Like, do I just go mode it and leave? Or do I try and clean this out? I mean, we're still missing a lot of items. So there is a really good chance there's something here. Especially because meeting's D7, and there are a lot of items in D7. There's also a lot of keys, so we could just be spending a lot of time just getting keys over and over again. Alright, we got key lock. We're good. This dungeon is officially key locked. That's gonna make things a lot easier to get through. So now I'm okay with just cleaning it out. Because we don't have to worry about the pot. We don't have to worry about the back hallway. Saves us a lot. I might still have to lower the water. But I'm not too concerned about that. I might save bottom floor for later. Like, I might come back here later on. I don't need this key, do I? Yeah, I don't think I need it. Whatever. Oh, actually, we get to find out what's on the bottom, if there's any keys down here. Yeah, there's one. Okay, there's 2 keys down there, so we don't have to do the bottom floor. Bottom floor is dead. Perfect. Yeah, this dungeon can be tricky with all the different water level stuff. But once you know what you need to do, it becomes probably one of the most fun dungeons to play. Tuning Nut! Alright. We got more dungeon access. And crown key. Okay, so I'm glad I cleaned this dungeon out. Okay. Alright, anything here? Oh, brother emblem on Plasmarine. So that means we can turn in that vase now. Probably won't do that for a while though. Alright, let's clean out past Crescent Island. Then I'll probably head to Zora, right? Or we just hit up dungeons. I think we hit up dungeons next after this. Because I don't want to go to Zora without the potion. Yo, Neon, thanks for the 502. Appreciate it. Nope, not taking that. I said no. Which dungeon do I want to try out? Crown is looking pretty good. Yeah, I think we head to Crown. Because that's a good refill on seeds. I can easily go there from here. You know what? This ring's not that far out of the way. Is it worth it at all to plant seeds in a run? No. The rewards aren't worth it. Because they're not randomized and they're not that good to begin with. The only seed, like, that you'll plant is a sent seedling to potentially plant one of the seed trees, but that's the only one that you'll ever do. $18's fine. It's vanilla. Vanilla 5. Five isn't a terrible dungeon, but it's not like an amazing dungeon either. It depends a lot on what you end up finding. Like, if we get too many keys, then it's a bad dungeon. But if I don't find too many, then it's a decent dungeon. If I find none, it's an amazing dungeon. And that's all just based on what gets locked by keys. So we found one small key so far. That is perfectly fine. It's once you get two, that's when things get concerning. Because 2 unlocks the mini-boss, and that's when you can start doing a lot more things. Yeah, there is one piece of heart on a seed tree, but that's only if you're going for 100%. And even then, you can manipulate it, so it's not like a big deal. Ah, 3 keys already. Not liking that one bit. That's telling me key, and the entire dungeon's unlocked. That's what that says to me. And there's one check after the mini-boss, and then one under the stairs before the mini-boss. If both of those are small keys, then that's all small keys, and that unlocks the remainder of the dungeon. So ideally, it could still be boss key, small key, and then small key beyond boss. But ideally, something has to not be a small key. And that guarantees that we're done here. By getting that heart container, that saves this dungeon. This has to be boss key. And now there's not enough checks remaining to get all the small keys. So if we're gonna get anything out of this dungeon, it's gotta be on the boss. So we'll see what we end up getting here. This probably will just be a small key or something, and it won't matter at all. Oh, that's not good. Yeah, salvaged. Yep, as predicted, it's just a small key, which means absolutely nothing. So we're done there. Our next stop is going to be Tuning Up. I did not lift the rock here, because I went the other way around. So whatever dungeon this ends up being, we should be able to beat. Yeah, actually, like, we can beat any dungeon that we come across, aside from 8. We have all the items aside from the Power Glove. So hopefully we find a good dungeon here. 1, 3, those will be good ones. Because those have a lot of items in them. Okay, it's 1. It's a really good one. An early boss key. If this was go mode, ooh. This would have been an interesting go mode. The flute can still have some use, so I am gonna grab it. Because we don't have the shovel yet, so I can get the beach item. Otherwise, I think we're just gonna clean this out as quickly as possible. Yeah, we already have all the keys, so yeah, we just gotta grab everything, don't we? Unless we determine last things are map and compass. Library key. There's compass, which is useless at this point. Library key and the book. I think the game is pointing me to go to Zora. And the graveyard key. Yeah, I think the game is pointing me to go to Zora. But I'm gonna go to graveyard first, obviously. So this is map? Yeah. We're getting very close. Potentially 2 items away. 3 at most. 4 at most. Shovel could still be required for D3. Hey, I can grab my potion now. We'll head over to Zora after we clean out this dungeon, whatever this ends up being. That's 2 more dungeons. As long as I don't find present D6, which I probably just jinxed. Which I definitely just jinxed. Yeah. So now, we have to find both of the remaining items, as well as the power glove. Well, it was worth coming in here, because there's boss key. I'll at least take that. I gotta watch out for that. I knew that was gonna happen. Like, when I saw that spawn, I was like, yeah, that's not a good spawn. Oh, I already opened the wall. So we're good. Got our boss key. Everything else doesn't matter in here. At least right now. Because we can't do anything without the past walls being broken. So that means we have to go to the past version, which hopefully is in Zora. Because that's where I'm headed now. Oh, you know what? We can do that too, while I'm on my way over there. Okay. Goronade is a thing. I don't know if I'm gonna go back that way anytime soon. But I can clean out some of the stuff over in Rolling Ridge. Probably when I get the other mermaid key, I'll go do some of that stuff. So we can do the full, like, everything here, aside from the one power glove check. Which is good, because that gives me the most amount of things to check. That's kind of why I like to put off going here until I have both potion and fairy powder. Because that means I get a lot of access really quickly. Now, I'll probably do the remainder of the stuff around here on my way back. Because this works out really well in terms of routing to go to library in the past. And let's see if this pays off. There's nothing there. Good. Turn into fairy powder. I'll check present library, and then we'll head back to the present and do everything else over there in Zora. And head into the dungeon. I might as well. We still don't have like a good damage. I guess that is good damage, but I meant in terms of like just regular rings, like a power ring or a red ring or a green ring or something like that. Double edge works. I just don't like to use it because of the health situation. Ooh, satchel upgrade. That's a cool one. Here's the reward for beating D7. It's the blast ring. And our dungeon is going to be D2. Okay. I can roll with that. Means we're probably looking at potential go mode 3? Three or 6? I mean, we still have to find 2 keys and power glove. And maybe shovel? Shovel's like a last resort if boss key ends up being on the right side. Like, that's the only thing that can stop me from finishing 2-3. Is if boss key ends up on right side. Or boss key ends up in seed shooter spot, and there's not enough small keys to get there without doing right side. I don't know if we're gonna find anything in here. Kind of feels like we're not. Or we find the shovel. The one thing that could prevent me from beating D3. So now I'm feeling a little bit better. Now we just gotta find access to these dungeons. We need access to these dungeons, and then we need Power Glove to finish off 8. And that's it. Now, it's still extremely easy for me to end up chasing around for a long time. There's still a lot that we can do in the overworld. Let me just confirm that that is the final key. I'm sure it has to be. Yeah. How are my bombs? I could use a few. I missed. Now the cycle's completely off. Cool. But who needs a cycle when you know how to do this? I went too soon. There we go. Okay. So that kind of cements where I want to go. Let's go back to Rolling Ridge. Let's go do those trades. Let's turn in all those items that we have. But first, let's not orphan a check. There's one check that I don't want to orphan. Okay, just the peace ring. Nothing too crazy. Let's do Big Bang Game first, and then we'll do the trades. Because I think the way I want to run this is do the Big Bang Game, drop down, then trade, and go from there. Okay. Big Bang did not have what we're looking for. Oh, I didn't do the doormat, right? Because I didn't have mermaid suit first time I came through here. Just a couple roops under the doormat. Alright, trade number one. Gasha seed. Now for trade number two. And that's the power glove. All right. Well then, we know where we're headed. We have our bearings. Let's go finish up D8. Now the question here where do I go first? I think I go back and then come back to the front. I think that's the way I want to run this. Because whatever we do, we've got to get like all of the remaining checks in here. There's one slate. We still need one more. There's the other. But now I'm thinking about the remaining checks in here. There's what, one more? And then boss. So I might as well just get the one. Just in case it ends up being something that we need. See, the other possibility now that we know that there's probably nothing here, I know where another item can be. And that's gonna be the Power Glove check in Zora. Like, we want to just follow the Power Glove at this point, right? Alright, is there anything here? It's heart container. I'll take it. That is not an item we're looking for. Yep, there's the mermaid key. So let's follow that now. To whatever dungeon that leads me to. So whatever dungeon is up on Sea of No Return is guaranteed to be go mode at this point. This is Vanilla 6, okay. Since we're not in go mode yet, I am gonna go through the entirety of this dungeon. Also, I do need to find small keys anyway. So even if I was in go mode, I'd still go this way. So that means 3 go mode? 3 could be a good go mode, depending on where boss key is. I definitely like it over 6 go mode. Oh, look at the symmetry on this. That room was very symmetrical. I like it. We're not getting any keys. Where are the keys? It's gonna be the last 3 checks. It has to be at this point. All 3 small keys are the last 3 things we get here. I love... Really? He turns for half a second. It's just a split second. Shoots at me and goes back the other way. I love it. But I also love how the Pegasus seed effect runs out immediately as I'm about to try and jump. I really appreciate that. Alright, are we getting the eyeball? We are getting the eyeball. Yay, we're in go mode. I think it pretty much had to be the eyeball there, but... yeah. It's one of those scenes, like, felt very much like I had to do everything. Because I pretty much did. Now it's just a matter of running through D3 as fast as we can. So we are going to figure out if shovel is required or not. The only way shovel can be required at this point is if boss key ends up in a really bad spot. Or we just don't get small keys. Yeah, the other option is we don't get small keys, but we get boss key. So I just go through the mini boss to just get to the back and get the boss. That is a possibility. Alright. I need one more small key and then boss key, potentially. Or just boss key. If I really want to be technical and go through mini boss. But yeah, in theory, I don't even need to knock the spinner down if I find boss key. And another small key. I just need that small key to be able to go through the door by the bridges. If I'm gonna go through the mini boss, I have to have the spinner knocked down. so far we haven't found anything. Oh, red ring. That is definitely something that I want to have. I'm curious, can beam sword? I don't think so. Let's use the boomerang. Get some extra use out of the boomerang here. Alright, there's compass. That helps me out a lot here. That's not a key. That is a key. And that's the boss key. Alright. Real quick. Is this a key? It is. Perfect. So we don't have to do the mini boss. So I had to pull the spinner down in order to get boss key. I'll take it, why not? We probably don't need the health, but might as well. Alright, so now all we gotta do is Black Tower. And that's it. And this should be easy because we have red ring and noble sword. So we have like some of the best damage we can possibly do. And we have 1,000,000 hearts. Like, despite the way this started off, this ended up being a pretty decent seed. At least decently fast. Having to go from like forced D4 for Seed Shooter into like forced D8 for Mermaid Suit. This wasn't too bad. Definitely could have gotten worse towards the end with the D3 stuff. Like if we never found Shovel and, you know, Boss Key was right side. Alright, Baron time. This fight is definitely like the one that makes me wish there was a remake. Because of all the item switching. Like having a dedicated sword button or whatever would make this game so much better. Or at least that fight. Yeah, it's hard to get the D8, but that's because like it's like a test, right? Like test your abilities. Black Tower is more just like, hi, I'm here. Because Varen probably wasn't able to get enough guards, right? She was only able to get a few of every enemy type. And even then, like, some of the enemy types really don't work well by themselves. Like, they really work well paired with other enemies. Like, blue Wizrobes, in particular, like, you want to have them around, but you pair them up with Floor Masters, and they become the most deadly enemy ever. Dark Knights are like okay, but like when they're by themselves, whatever. But you pair them up with other enemies, and they become even more deadly. Just by limiting each room to one specific enemy type makes that not very difficult. It would be different if you had to defeat all enemies to move to the next room, but that kind of defeats the purpose of Seasons being the combat game and Ages being the more puzzle game. Maybe if, like, it was more puzzle-based instead of just run through. like count the enemies, and depending on if it's even or odd, you go to a different exit or whatever. I don't know, I'm just spitballing ideas. But yeah, that was a fun seed. It was really cool to see 2 dungeons with very deep items that you normally wouldn't see that deep. I mean, Seed Shooter we have seen back there before, yes. But I don't think I've seen an item... I think I have seen it once. Like an item all the way in the back of D8. Without Power Glove. But having both in the same seed is probably pretty rare. And then for the most part, the rest of the seed was just kind of there. Nothing too special about it. It definitely felt like the first third of the seed was us just getting the items necessary to complete D8. Because that was our hard progression. Like that was the choke point of the seed, is getting the mermaid suit. Once we got the mermaid suit, everything just kind of opened up. And a 2:12:41 is pretty decent time for an Aegis seed. Especially one that I nearly 100%ed. Like, I think in terms of checks I had left, I think I never went under the island. And then I had the stuff in Sea of No Return. And that's about it.